Well, after learning of the passing of Benjamin's surf shop founder, Benjamin Liska, tonight we're speaking with some of the people who knew him best.
Liska passed away at the age of 74 following heart health complications. Tonight we hear from family, friends, and the man now carrying on the business that he built about the legacy of one of Corpus Christi's most recognizable names in surfing. Bill Churchwell joins us now here in studio with that story. Bill?
Benjamin Liska introduced generations of coastal Bend families to surfing, skating, and coastal fashion. While many remember the store, those closest to him say it's the person behind the business they'll never forget. If you grew up in the coastal Bend, that familiar jingle probably brings back memories. For nearly 50 years, Benjamin's wasn't just a place to buy a surfboard. It became part of growing up in Corpus Christi. And family says that all started with one man's dream.
He loved surfing, and he started this store in the back of his garage building surfboards. He had to convince his parents that that's something that he wanted to do right out of college. He worked hard.
Ben Liska's dream grew into one of the most recognizable local businesses. His wife, Brenda, says the store was only part of who he was. Beyond surfing, he was a devoted husband, a man active in his church, and outside the city, he raised Texas Longhorns.
Also was a musician, so he played all string instruments by ear, and blessing to all of us.
That kindness left an impression far beyond the walls of Benjamin's. At Wind and Waves over in Flower Bluff, owner Frank Floyd still keeps memories of his friend close by.
That's Ben.
Showing us a book with a very young Ben posing with a surfboard. The two owned surf shops for decades, but never saw each other as competitors.
He brought a lot of stuff into town, fashion stuff that came from, that had not been here. And he started going to different markets and actually pulling the stuff in early. So he was kind of in the apparel side of things, he was definitely a leader.
I think Paulette worked here too.
Another longtime friend, Jerry Anderson, saw that passion firsthand.
1976, one of Benjamin's surfboards that he shaped.
In 2013, Ben entrusted him with the business he built.
The promise I made to him is I would continue it and be a good steward of his store and continue it into the future and hand it off so it can last another 50 years.
Hi, welcome in.
Walking through Benjamin's today, his family says it still feels exactly as Ben intended.
And the smells, the sights, the lighting, it's just such a joyful place that holds so many joyful memories for many of us around Corpus Christi.
For me, remembering Ben, he was the closest thing I probably had.
For Chad Marshall,
he was the closest thing I had to a father figure probably in my life when my parents got married, and you know, he was always there for me.
And while generations may remember Benjamin's famous commercials or the marquee here at Airline in McCardle, his wife hopes they'll remember something even more important.
I want everyone to remember that joyful thing, and he was joyful to pretty much the end.
And a celebration of life is now being planned for Ben. Members of the surfing community are also organizing one final paddle out in his honor. Once those details are finalized, we'll be sure to share them with you. Back to you.